welcome to Fifi Quest, the only ham radio show broadcasting from the Gila Flats out in remote Arizona, I believe. I am broadcasting live from a tin shack in as part of the SETI Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence out in the middle of nowhere. I've yet to see a full-grown human being in 14 months. And I am beaming in on the lizard people. I have communicated with them through a series of semaphore. That's the flag language. I found the star system that I can wave my flags at. They're actually a series of traffic cones with dish rags on them, but they consider that like a heavy accent. They can figure out what I'm saying. And I'm just out here telling them, hey guys, stop using, the Jews to invent 5G and give everyone coronavirus so we can all, stop playing in the creepy democratic sex game where they want to put a gag on all their mouths and then jerk off into the lap of the Lincoln Memorial. I think that's wrong and garish. And, Lincoln is a stone person. He can't consent, so right there. Hey everybody, it's Fifi. I'm going nuts here, everyone. I'm going crazy. Just flipping out. Talked about this in the last episode. I was out in Montana, playing with goats, being safe, but seeing people in a way, and getting out into the natures where they, that's where they have all the natures installed. And now just back here in LA, and I gotta tell ya, what with the whole pandemic and the race war and the heat wave, it's we've had better times out here, is all I'm saying. I'm not loving it out here right now. But what are you gonna do? It is what it is. People probably whined during World War II because they were bored. I'm sure they did. Probably whined during the bombing of London, except they were British. They don't really complain. They're just, I can't, bad sucks in, alright, eh? No, that's Australian. I gotta say, doing physical therapy for my girl voice, it's fucked up my accents. I gotta retrain in all my accents. I don't know where I'm coming or going doing my silly accents for comedy purposes anymore. But that's okay, because my physical therapist, Ann Willis at Kaiser Permanente, is a great gal, and I love her work. So shout out to her. Yeah, if you have Kaiser Permanente insurance, you can get great transgender care. That's what I'm saying. And it's, one of the cheaper options, and it's been very good, thorough care. So, that's what's up. Gosh. I just want some stuff to happen, so I have something to say to you guys, 'Cause now I'm here, I'm just laying around, growing these tits. That's what I got for you, playing mandolin. Doing podcasts, writing stuff. I went out to Runyon on a social distance safety hike with some pals, but it was a bazillion degrees. A hot 92 at 9 in the morning. So, yeah. So that's what's up. That's what I got for you, my little hot cups of veggie chili. That's what I got for you. Darn it. I just got a case. I got a case of the fudgets is what I got. You know what? Hey, life is still going on. Fudge it. Put it in a pan and fudge it. That's what I say. Lordy Lou, you guys. Yeah. I want to go out on some adventures. Doing the best I can. I might take off this weekend. I think what it is, it's going to be camping. I mean, I think that's just what's up. It's going to be a camping kind of summer. Because that's the only way you can get out and have fun and not really be around people. And, yeah, that's about all I got. It's the only thing I can think to do. Crying out loud. Yeah, so what I might do, I actually got a COVID test this morning. I went to Dodger Stadium. They're doing a big line of free people. And I swear to God, I felt like a little sniffly when I was leaving. And I'm like, if I got COVID at the gall-darn free clinic testing place, that'd be a real kick in the caboose, I tell ya. Jeez. So, but yeah, so I should find the results from that in, I think maybe a week, maybe 10 days, I don't know. But I mean, either way, I'm not going anywhere. If I have it, knock on particle board, I may be symptomatic, so I'm just staying at home, and if I don't have it, I'm staying at home. So we're staying at home. Yeah. Governor locked down all the bars again, and that's just what's up. And, yeah, I mean, that looks like the move. If they're, we're getting a ton of cases. We're getting a ton of cases here in California. I gotta say, we might be as stupid as everywhere else, everybody. I really do. You know what? I have never loved this whole, oh, we're California. Look at us. If only the rest of America could just be like us, we'd just be utopians, not just stupid people in the Midwest. You know what? We got we got some just cities that are just renegade Blade Runner capitalism run amok, and then the rest of the goddamn country is the rest of the state is Texas. That's what it is. San Diego is Texas. Orange County, Texas. Lancaster, the Palm Desert, shit. Bakersfield, we're Texas. And when you think about it, like the big cities in Texas, they're all kind of like we are in California too. So yeah, I think California is Texas, and Texas is us, in many, many ways. And I think we should get together and make out, and just hate fuck each other. That's what I think Texas and California ought to do. Is just have just horrible, cathartic, just rage sex. California's laying there all, all sexy, and she stinks because she's, using that aluminum-free deodorant, and she's like, ooh, hey, Texas, how's it going? And Texas is like, you stink, California. I can do better than you. I can get some blonde, girl with hair a mile high who's, she's going to have a pecan dessert done cooking before I even finish the sex. And, California's like, I think you like the way I stink. California, yeah, Texas, why don't you come over, and, I'll make you some, yeah, why don't you come over when you wake up in the morning, I'm gonna make you some breakfast with soy rizo. You'd fucking hate that, wouldn't you, Texas? And Texas like, yeah, fucking would, California. And then, they just, yeah, I think, look, I know I didn't just solve America, but it feels like I did. So, can the state of Texas hate fuck the state of California? No, I realize that. But you know what? I can't think of everything. This is a democracy where we all do our part, and I just came up with a big chunk of the solution. So get on it, fiefdom. I want you to write in to Fifi Quest Podcast at gmail.com, and I want to hear a tangible plan about how Texas can hate fuck the state of California and have some good cathartic humping so America can get over this nonsense. All right? Get on it, team. And my mustache is itchy. got that going on too. That's the thing too. We all kind of thought like, hey, And by the way, look, I want to just reiterate, cause like, look, I'm goofing around with all this stuff, so everybody chill, just being a silly goose. But yeah, I remember when we all thought like, hey, July at the latest, right? And I'm like, that'd be cool. I can get my schedule some laser hair removal by then, and that ain't happening. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get I'm gonna get one of those they're not shitty. I don't know if they're shitty. Maybe they're not. I haven't tried one. You can get these home laser hair removal gun wand things, so you can just do laser hair on yourself. And I've heard they're kind of and they're all like, well, yeah, it does something, but you might as well go and get laser if you're, gonna do it. And I'm like, well, then I'll go do it then. But that ain't happening anytime soon, and I'm getting tired of shaving my whole body twice a week. Hot darn. So, yeah, you can get these things. They're not exactly laser. I forget what the acronym is, but there's some frequency of light that's like just below laser in intensity. So what I've heard is like laser hair removal like goes right to the root of the hair and just zaps it and just it's gone, and that's what it is. However, these handheld guys, they sort of like they burn most of it, and from what I understand is after you do enough treatments with it, you don't have hair completely gone, but you go from like having dark, particularly coarse hair to having like peach fuzz, I guess, which, I guess theoretically you'd have to shave off every now and again, but you know what, goddamn, I'll take it. Because I do not like getting, coarse gray hairs all over my tits 2 days after I shaved. But I had enough of that. I'll go with peach fuzz. I'll go with peach fuzz all around. I don't care. I'll do that till we can do laser hair removal. I can deal with peach fuzz. I'll be like a sexy little otter lady. Like you see an otter in a brook in Alberta, and she's swimming up the stream, and I'm like, oh, look at that little critter, just swimming around with delicate aquatic grace, but like, she's hairy. I can deal with that. So yeah. Other than that, just filling up hobbies, doing work I gotta do, taking time to chill out. I'll tell you, I don't remember if I've talked about this yet, but one thing I started doing was I started getting into Star Trek, which, I've always liked nerdy things. I've talked at length about how, I was never into Harry Potter, because the Harry Potter dorks were the same as the Pokemon dorks, and me and the Magic the Gathering Dune reading dorks would look down on them, as they were our inferior. And they were. Me and the fellow stringy-haired greasy kids who would play Magic the Gathering. And moms were worried that it was satanic, because it was not the 80s. If it were in Newark, California, it would have been the 80s. This was the 90s, because things were 10 years too late in South Dakota. So, satanic ritual abuse was a moral panic that came to us a little too late, and that's what they worried Magic the Gathering was. And there was a card called, I think, Unholy Strength, and it had a pentagram on it. And my friend Ryan Dell, his mom, came down to the card store one day and saw us playing with these Satan cards, and then she ratted us out. So, but my point is, of all the nerdy stuff I got into, I never got into Star Trek, which is weird. It always seemed like something I like. In retrospect, it was too positive, so it didn't get into, my, hey, I'm a boy and I really don't like it, but fuck if I have any other option kind of brain. So I started watching The Next Generation, which, By the way, I announced on Facebook just when I was goofing around that I was going to start getting into Star Trek The Next Generation. And I gotta say, if you're my friend on Facebook, you all might have warned a bitch that Riker straight up falls in love with a trans alien. I mean, your girl was not prepared for that, okay? Just, whew. I'm sitting here like, well, Riker, you just standing there on the bridge, just being hot, probably smelling like cheese and cologne in a good way, and thinking like, well, I sure like that William Riker, but he's probably, gonna go off with a Counselor Troy, maybe. Woe is me. Then the trans alien in the one episode just starts being like, hey, I know my species doesn't believe in gender, but I believe I'm actually a girl. And Riker wants to wants to plow the goddamn Vulcan ears right off her head. That was a big day for old Fifi. Yeah. So I've been watching that. Just watching stuff. One of these days we're gonna run out of TV, you guys, and that's the end of the world. That's the, I believe it's foretold in the Book of Revelations. I think when you're in coronavirus and you get to the end of Netflix, I think it's just a screen starts playing of an angel opening the seventh seal, and out it, pour 1,000 beasts upon whose 7 heads are written blasphemous names, and then we're all like, oh my god, but yeah, I get it. But I've been, just doing that, playing bluegrass. Just trying to find new shows. A friend of mine told me to watch the show Dark. Don't know what it's about, but you gotta get into it. Fifi. Dark is incredible, and it's a thinker, and it's gonna be great. And I'm sort of like, here's the thing. I've been having such a weird, transitioning, I want to say I've been having an identity crisis. Transitioning is an active, positive dealing with an identity crisis, you could say. But I'm sort of like, I'm sort of really wondering, what do I even like anymore? It's so, here I am, I'm on my own, I'm in the apartment I've lived in before. When I log into my YouTube channel, all the things I would watch and listen to as Joe were, in there before. So it's all my recommendations are very Joe-ish rather than Fifi-ish. And same with my Netflix and, just everything. Transitioning, it's transitioning's like becoming a butterfly, but transitioning is like becoming a butterfly, but you've got to redecorate and live in your old cocoon in a weird way, because you're always, especially if you're an adult-ass adult, which I am, and I said that I'm trying to convince myself, but you're always living, what's the word? You're always kind of living in the shadow of your own life, I have built certain things, I'll say it, on a kind of a false conception of myself, and, I guess I'm at a point where I'm how much of my old life do I want to throw out? What do I actually like, and what have I grown comfortable with? That's really the question. 'Cause, when I was living as Joe, I didn't really like anything. Not really. I wasn't enabled to. That's not to say I didn't do likable things or things I don't enjoy doing now, but like, I guess how this relates to watching TV is someone's like, you gotta watch Dark, Fifi, it's incredible. And I'm like, okay, it's like a dark dystopian thriller that's super, And there was a time when I'm like, hey, that sounds right up my alley. But now I'm like, do I even like this kind of thing? Or am I just comfortable with this kind of thing? I remember telling you on a podcast once, I had this external hard drive full of movies that I just uploaded to it. That was like, it was when I was living back in Montana, back in college. And so, obviously everything was there. I put on as Joe, and like everything on it was just so grisly and so violent. And I'm like, I don't even really like watching violent things anymore. I mean, for the most part. So if I'm like gonna sit there and, I could sit there and watch a whole season of Dark and be like entertained enough. But I don't want to be like, it's fine anymore. I'm worried that's kind of a trap, I don't want to be this much of Fifi. I want to be this much of Fifi, When I was coming back from my trip to Montana a couple of weeks ago, I got really bummed out when I got back to LA because I was just sort of like, I was just so happy and so free there. And just every day was so joyful. And I think like, when I got back to LA, part of me was like, yeah, well, you had your fun, but regular life isn't like that. Regular life is, gritting your teeth and just dealing with stuff and like, come on and put your head down. And I'm like, my life in LA can be that joyful too. Regular life can be that joyful and magical. And, but, that magical life is rooted in a lot of very real, very practical, very small decisions. It's a million small decisions. And, like, especially it's small decisions when, you're in quarantine and you don't have a whole ton of options of stuff to do. So I'm like, I've talked about, like, policing what kind of media I put in my mind. So I'm really, like, really asking myself, like, am I enjoying the stuff I'm doing, or am I just sort of comfortable with it? Because what I've grown comfortable in as living as Joe does not bring me joy, and I'm worthy of joy with a capital J. I don't want a good enough life. I want a great life. It's such a, not everyone is so lucky to kind of get to some of the places I do. I mean, I had to do so much work on myself to get to this point, to live as Fifi. And I don't want to squander that by going in. I remember I had this dream. I had these dreams where, like, I remember I was in my old house, my family's house in South Dakota, where I was really, really unhappy, And it's like I was having a party with friends there, or just, friends, like people I knew, I guess. And it was like I was walking around trying to feel really joyful. And someone at the party said, "We don't do that here." And then I had this other dream where little backstory, kind of all I did in high school was play Halo with friends, and not that, playing video games with friends isn't fun, but like, I was not happy. I was never happy living as Joe at all. So it was like, in the dream I was in this new life, and there's this group of people in new life, and it was like I was trying to play Halo with them in real life. Like, I don't mean like I was trying to get them to pick up controllers. It was like I was walking around this party full of people, and I was like throwing pretend grenades and like, shooting rocket launchers at stuff in the sky, and I'm like, hey, this is fun, guys, and they're all like, no, we don't like that. So those dreams really made me realize, like, yeah, I don't want to build on kind of the soil of my old life so much. So, and I don't want to, and like, I don't think there's improvement without sacrifice. So, like, when I'm like comfortable in sort of these more Joe-ish way of beings. But my boy name was Joe, if you're, new and you didn't know. But if I take comfort in those more Joe-ish things, then to be happy, I have to be willing to sacrifice that comfort and know that happiness and joy will be uncomfortable for a time. Yeah. I want to really remember that. Joy will be uncomfortable for me for a time, just for a little time, and it's worth it. I don't think it's brave to sacrifice joy because I'm afraid of being uncomfortable. Yeah. So that's that. Other than that, I guess the only thing I have to say is my hair has taken forever to grow. Forever. You guys, this is the problem with having curly hair. Because when you have straight hair, it just grows and out and falls down. When you have curly hair, you get the same length, but it just goes around and around and around and around. And you look like, I'm gonna look like goddamn Marsha Clark. I'm gonna look like Marsha Clark until 2027. Yeah, that's what it is. You think you're growing out, but you're growing around and around and around and around. Kind of like transitioning and self-improvement. Okay, well, I guess that's about a half hour. Really appreciate you all for listening. I love you guys. As always, if you guys like this podcast, I would really appreciate if you could share it around, retweet it and post it and send it to your friends. I want to entertain people. I would like this to be a resource for, even if it's, I'd like this to be a resource for people, for whatever you might be going through, if it helps you, or if you just want to goof around, that's awesome too. Or God, if you just need 30 minutes, not just to check out for a minute, I hope I can be that for you too. And yeah, so I guess that's Fifi Quest for today. If you want to send me an email, you can email me at Fifi Quest Podcast. That's FIFIQUEST podcast @gmail.com. And I'd love to hear from you. So that's what's up. That's what's up, my little cans of tomato soup. I love you guys. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.